for those of you who don't know, I am collecting a full set of Tomb of Dracula 1. It started with that one right there, man, that you got me. We watched it get graded, my man. Well, actually, we watched another one and you replaced it because it had a white pager on it. And you promised, you said, yo, if I get a white pager, I will swap it out for the price. And you did me the honor of swapping it out. However, that book is not as nice as the other one.
Yeah, you became a paper snob, and
I did, dude.
I blame myself for that a little bit.
Well, I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, the print is it's a little off, It's beautiful. It's white pages. I like it more. It's worth more money. But damn, that book that we saw get graded is gorgeous. And you hooked me up with the white pager, and I'm very happy with it. But that started a whole avalanche of, now I want to get a full foreign set from every country that did it. I have copies from Spain. I have an Australian copy. Of course, the copy from Denmark. And the hunt still continues. It's a tough book, man. All of them.
It is a very, very tough book.
He's trying to do
it.
It is.
I'm not calling that a tough book, man. I mean, foreign tough. How about that?
How many? And the foreigns are tough, but the tombs. How many tombs did you get just in this last week? Because for those of you who don't know, I have a dealer account. I let my homies that we kick it like every day, and they all use the same dealer account so that we can save on everything. And Russ also used the same account. He's actually getting his on here pretty soon. But this dude hits me up and he goes, dude, did you see how many Tomb of Dracula 1s that freaking Golden Age guru submitted to CGC? Damn. How many did you get in the last couple weeks?
Well, it just got to my mailbox today, so I couldn't pick it up yet. And I submitted 5 or 6. I got 198 and like 2 9.6s and 9.4. So I'm really speccing on that Bronze Age time frame and 9.8s.
That's where my head was at right now. I'm looking for Bronze Age.
Yeah, and 9.6 even, 9.8s. But those picture frame Marvels, which is like a picture frame Marvel, which we'll show an example later, is a comic that's got that picture type frame where all the action's in a little window, right? But that time frame of like the early 70s, 71, 72, it's like mostly all black covers, and the print run was less than like in 74. So it's just a really sweet spot with new characters being developed and just a huge explosion of the Marvel's universe. So I love that time frame, trying to find my 9.8s, and I'm going to keep as many as I can, because really right now just letting go of any blue chip key is like, what's the point? You can't replace it within a week.
That's right, man. It's not how it used to be. Actually, let's get into some books that are tough to replace, some books that we brought to the table. I have some books that, I took some books out and I thought, hey, I wanted to share this with the comic fam. These are some that I recently got in. They happen to all be spec books. And then you told me what you were bringing, and they're all spec books as well. They're all investment books, and we're going to show them to the comic fam. So let's actually get into it. The first one that I wanted to show off to the community is kind of in theme for a big reveal later in the conversation. Stay tuned to the end of the video, because Jeff brought a giant book. And I'm not talking about giant size. Giant size is small compared to what he brought to the table today. But I have a copy of Green Lantern number 20, and you'll notice that barcode, my brother. I'm all in on the newsstands. I'm hunting for them. Some of these modern books are just too available. There's too many of them. And going after the newsstand, likely under 10% of the market, and a 9.8 is looking just, I'm aggressive on it. I really want to secure those over the standard copy for the most part when the book is a couple $100. And we have the first appearance of one of my favorite superheroes, happens to be a Green Lantern from Puerto Rico. We have Jessica Cruz, and we know that HBO's coming. A Green Lantern series is in development, and the slate of characters included Jessica Cruz. And this is a book that I've been purchasing, finding in dollar bins for over a decade now. Can you believe it? It's been a decade since the New 52.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're speaking another language to me when you're talking about like this type of time frame. But so this came out in 2013. It's like a square bound.
Yeah, it's thick. And, she only appears in like a one panel cameo, but it's a great book, and it's one that I'm specking on. I felt like it was a good one to get.
What's the current market on 9.8 white?
9.8 white, couple $100. It's pretty affordable, but the newsstand doesn't come up very often. So when I saw one, I may have paid like an extra $100 for it. but I haven't seen one since that is graded at 9.8. Now you also brought some really cool ones, and I'm very excited to chat with you about this. What did you get?
So I've been specking on Shang-Chi for knowing that, it's obviously in the works and coming for a while. So I've been putting away really nice copies and slowly submitting them because the submission process takes time, and I keep getting more.
What'd you think of the trailer, man? And I'm pulling up prices just while you chat. Just keep talking.
Yeah, no, I dug the trailer. I mean, looks like a cool action flick, and hopefully it's got a good story. And if it's MCU, there's going to be things in there to really, make it exciting for everybody. And they're going to throw in characters that you didn't expect. So I'm ready for any really MCU movie. And I think this hits just at the right time where more people are going to be going to the theater to watch it. I think Black Widow just kind of missed its window, unfortunately.
The one thing that I was actually really excited about the Shang-Chi trailer was that they changed the origin completely from the comics. I was wondering how they were going to do that, because it's not the best use of integrating a different culture in comic books back then. Is kind of, some would say it's very stereotyped. I would say that. And this narrative of Shang-Chi being raised as a fighter, being trained by the Death Dealer, but then growing up, I believe the line in the show, in the trailer, was a 10-year gap where he left, whether he ran away or was sent away to go live a life himself. He has to be brought back to his roots, back to his origins, back to becoming the master of Kung Fu. And that's why the narrative is showing him in civilian life. It makes it make way more sense, especially considering that we got the Mandarin coming in, the 10 rings that are more like bracelets.
That's what I loved. They
kept it magical too. How cool is that?
Yeah, I love seeing the variation from rings to bracelets like that. I mean, that was pretty dope. And I don't want to get into the whole stereotypical this, stereotype that. I don't even, it's for me, it's a movie. It's about Kung Fu, so I'm not really sure what the expectations would have been for somebody to
back
learn
then,
Kung Fu.
For sure.
Come on. But the fact that they also mention a dragon, from what I understand.
Dude, can you imagine if we see it? The Kirby goodness.
Dude, I can't imagine it. I have this vision, and it's glorious, Tom. I'm freaking telling you, it's going to be... It's like seeing the dragon from Dragon Ball Z for the very first time when they got the Dragon Balls together. You're like, oh my God, there it is. God, I forgot his name.
You're forgetting it in this moment?
Yes, I am, but it's...
Fin, Fang, Foom, baby.
No, the dragon from Dragon Ball Z. When you see him for the first time, for you Dragon Ball Z fans, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yes, Fing Fang Foom, man,
You see him on this freaking screen, I'm going to lose my shit, dude. I'm going to be freaking out, man. I want to see some Fing Fang Foom. And Green Lantern 20, newsstand, $200, sold February 18th. I think that's my copy, to be honest. So there you go. You can get probably a non-newsstand for 100, 150. So we are talking about Master Kung Fu, though. Super Marvel Edition, special Super Marvel Edition, issue number 15, first appearance. And I'm looking at a freaking stack here, an aggressive stack. You are being very aggressive on the purchasing of these in high grade. And dude, I'm seeing 2 9/8s and multiple 9/6s. Let's chat about the 9/8s. I want to chat with you about the 9/6s. I want to talk about the differences in grade. What can we learn from this? Because this is a difficult book in high grade.
Yeah, though I have this many, it is a tough book in high grade. And don't let this take away from that. I just happen to really be heavy on this. So I have...
Look at that, dude.
5 9/6s here, all white pagers. Okay. And then we have 2 9/8s, 1 white pager, 1 off-white white. And let's take a look at these guys.
Okay, I remember we saw a $7,500 sale in February for a 9.8. We also saw a $6,700 sale right before the trailer dropped, which was I thought was a great purchase. And then today, as we're filming, we're seeing a new price. It broke 10K, dude. A 9.8 hit what?
$13,500, I think $21.
Holy smokes, dude. Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's nuts.
And well deserved. If you look at all the other books at this time frame, okay? I mean, if you're looking at Marvel Spotlight 5s, you're looking at Werewolf by Night 32s. I mean, you're talking, I'm thinking a Marvel Spotlight 5 and 9/8 could be possibly an $80,000 book.
Oh, I believe it. And we're going to actually talk about that book here pretty soon. We have a stack of 9.6s and 2 9.8s. March 16th, the 9.6 went for $3,100. I think that's low, especially with this new price at the 9.8 set. This is going to be, I think, a $5,000 book here. How does that sound to you?
The 9.6?
Yeah.
You said 5K?
Yeah.
I think this...
Maybe higher? I mean, with the $13,000 9.8.
I'll tell you, like, I would have sold my 9.6 for 5K before this sale. After the sale, I'm not selling it for 5K. I probably put 7,500 on it.
Yeah. Oh, because this 9.6 price, the 3,100 was pre-trailer dropping. So.
Oh, this one, yeah, the 9th, yeah, no, that was what,
that
March?
March 16th.
16th, yeah.
Yeah, so this is weeks ago. That's how quick this moved, just in a couple weeks. So I'm looking at 5 9.6s and 2 9.8s, and I thought this was a fun thing that we can compare to. We can put some pictures on the screen here because really at first glance, they look the same. You're really looking for the differences here, and it's hard to tell, but there are some differences and we can learn from that. So looking at these 9.6s right before the show, I noticed that black cover is so tough to get without having any imperfections. Really at the top of one of these, there's a tiny scuff. Really, it's like some markings on the spine, maybe a little dirt, but it is so difficult to see the differences. In your opinion, based off of your grading of these books that a lot of people will never even see in person, let alone in a 9.8, ever own a 9.8, with only 3 sales that are publicly seen in this last few months, what is your analysis on this particular book? Because not all books experience the same types of problems, because this is a thicker book, it's a black cover, and it's super scarce. I mean, read to hell.
Yeah, I don't know about thicker. It's just a regular size.
Is it normal size? Yeah. Some reason I thought it was a little thicker. Maybe
no,
it's just wrong.
Yeah, it's just a regular standard comic book from that time frame. Looking at these books, obviously there's different imperfections all across each of these. Some of these have the staples offset, and which I think was pretty common with this book. They weren't just only on the spine. They're actually offset quite a bit, and we'll show some pictures of that, and you can take a look. So I think it might have hindered some of the grades because...
Offset as in like it's not really on the
edge of the
spine. It's like on the cover a little bit.
Yeah, it's on the cover by enough.
Enough, especially with the black, to cause problems around the staple where it was inputted.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily affect the grade because it's production, but because of the way it lays, and if anyone opened it, it creates more problems to the cover, which can also cause issues. So I have a couple of that. Taking a look at some of these, it's really, like you mentioned, hard to tell the difference. I have a 9.8 here that I question is, well, what does it take to be a 9.9? Because it's
that nice.
Right. And then I have a 9.8 here that's a 9.8. And then I have a 9.6, so I'm just like, maybe can be a 9.8 with a little more of a dry clean and a press, because it's that finite. And it's obviously it's harder to tell because they're already encapsulated.
Sure.
But some of these are so borderline. I feel blessed just to have the 2 9.8s. I do, because
especially after today, man, they just upped in value. There's 26K sitting on the table right now.
Yeah, look, I had my.
And they won't be here long, so don't try to find my address.
Yeah, 1600. Was it 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue?
There you go.
Check it out. But more seriously, like I have faith in this book because there's no reason it shouldn't, reach levels of others at this point. And seeing 13.5 is. It's a start. It really is, because that 7.5 that it was and the 6,700 just doesn't sound right. A 9.8 book from this time frame for a character like this who really, I think they screwed the pooch with Iron Fist, and I think they have to roll with Shang-Chi for now, and I think that's going to bring a lot of attention to this character, and rightfully so. And Iron Fist, that might actually be, by the way, a good spec to get into at some point.
It's really low. He'll be back for sure.
Yeah, he'll have to be back.
Or whether it's that particular version of Iron Fist, there's a handful of them. We've seen that happen where a different version still hypes up another blue chip key. Case in point, Captain America Avengers 4 with Falcon and Winter Soldier at an causing major spec to happen, and all these types of plays. Heck, Omega Red was being spec'd on heavily. We saw Avenger 4 numbers shoot up like we've never seen. And yeah, will we see an old man Cap? Maybe. But it's not likely we're going to see Steve Rogers Cap anytime soon. Maybe a flashback. Not enough to cause a book like Avengers 4 to skyrocket like it has.
Like, work in waves. Like, there's books that people are getting into, and then there's the books that they're not getting into because they've gone there for a moment. And they'll come back. Avengers 4 was stagnant not too long ago. AF-15 sat stagnant for a year.
We gotta chat about AF-15 at some point. Not today. We'll get some in here to chat about. But we had a really fun conversation at C2E2 in 2019. And I was like, damn, dude, this is a great time to buy this book. Like, I think that these are good prices. People weren't buying them. And you told me, you're like, dude, this is the time to get them. They're low. This is a low buy-in for a book that at the time seemed high. Well, some books that I just purchased recently, I probably bought a little too late, but I got tired of talking about them on the damn mic so often. Are you caught up on Mandalorian?
I'm caught up on Mando.
All right, dude. Rosario Dawson, season 2, Ahsoka Tano. It was amazing. I'm not even a big Star Wars guy. Like, members who've been following the channel for quite a long time, they'll know that I grew up with Star Trek on the mind, chatting about it with my dad and all of his friends. We weren't talking about Star Wars growing up. I grew up with a life-size cutout of Captain Picard in the kitchen. Whenever I ate dinner, I got Captain Picard looking at me in the corner, and most people would kind of get weirded out by it. And they did. When they came over and we had friends over, they'd be like, yeah, that's a little awkward. But I grew up with, Sir Patrick Stewart in my kitchen for good reason. I got into Star Wars way more this year than ever before, like over this past year, especially through pandemic. I went through the OG 4, 5, and 6 movies. I went through the prequels, and although they weren't great, I definitely had a new respect for them. And The Mandalorian really took me there. I had to get these books. I'm not going to miss out on Ahsoka Tano. Had I known Ahsoka Tano a bit more and the legacy and the Clone Wars stuff that really spiraled through the animation films or the series that I'm now into, I would have gone all in on Ahsoka Tano's first appearance way before everyone else really caught the bug, but I just wasn't as into it. So I was reporting on numbers and seeing these books spike, and I knew it would get hot, but I didn't realize how hot it would get. Hearing her say Grand Admiral Thrawn, that she was hunting for him, looking for him, mind blown. So I secured 2 different 9.8s. We have Kanan Last Padawan, issue number 1. First cameo appearance of Sabine Wren and Ezra Bridger. And then also issue number 6, first full appearance of both characters. And I actually notice here on the CGC label, they don't put any indication on issue number 6. I think this is the book to spec on. There's a full appearance. They're kind of briefly introduced in issue number 1. I bought them both for $1,000. And issue number 1 is going for right around $300. Issue number 6 is going for right around $600. So, add it up, gets close to $1,000. Issue number 1 actually has the first appearance listed where issue number 6 doesn't. But hot damn, issue number 6 is selling better. Take a look at those. So I'm thinking, if there's some Star Wars spec to be had, Ahsoka Tano, I mean, she's part of that triad. Like they're together. Whenever you see these narratives, they just go hand in hand. And when you have Grand Admiral Thrawn in the mix, it only makes sense to get their homies. I'm going to use the hell out of the soundboard, comic fam. Just get used to it. We're just getting started.
Yeah, man. Look, if you're talking about Star Wars characters, they aren't the first cast. I'm like, it's a little over my head. So, Ahsoka Tano.
I keep my DD blaster, I think is what it is. I apologize to the Star Wars fans in advance. It's only going to get worse.
It's all right, man. All right, so for me, this original cast is what I know and grew up with, and still haven't been impressed much with anything else. But Mando is telling such a good story because I've been nothing but let down, I'll be honest with you. So I'll tell you where I'm at with most of this. But when a TV show like that crushes it and can tell a story and make me interested in characters like that, I mean, I'm 110% in on the storytelling. Now, I don't know Ahsoka Tano other than I've seen her on the covers and whatever, so I don't know if she was represented the way everyone wanted her or not, but everyone seems to be hyped, and I'm still loving the show. I'm excited for next season. So
we're supposed to hear get introduced to some Wookiees in season 3, apparently.
All right, as long as they keep going in the right direction, I'm in. For me, you're saving Star Wars. I 110% think you're saving Star Wars.